know, back in the day they did things differently, but it's the 21st century, Nora. You can throw out your abacus. Ha!
Formats have long fought for dominance, with only a few coming out on top.
And how can a glorified torch possibly beat a 6.2-litre V8?
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 format wars. For this list, we're examining instances where technological formats competed for superiority, with a clear-cut winner that became the standard at that moment in time. Though the term format wars usually refers to competition between formats and platforms within the same market, we're expanding it to mean two different approaches to solving a market need. So the entries won't necessarily be about specific companies or limited to electronic media. Number 10. The secure digital or SD card versus the memory stick. Once upon a time, data storage sparked competition in companies. The SD Card Association's secure digital cards came into conflict with memory sticks. Sony's own brand of removable flash memory devices launched in October 1998. Though both formats saw upgrades through the 2000s and competed for dominance, the SD card's utility and relative openness compared to the memory stick gave it an edge. Ultimately, while the memory stick is still used in some capacities, Sony adopted the use of the SD card by releasing its own line in its devices as of 2010. Number 9. Gas cars versus electric cars.
What if your everyday car was an electric car?
When it comes to the design of cars, the shift from electric to gas power is significant. From the 1880s through to 1920, electric-powered cars were some of the most popular automobiles available, before advances were made in internal combustion engine technology. With a greater range of vehicles, cheaper pricing, and quicker refueling times, the gas-powered automobile quickly overtook its predecessor. By 1914, 99% of cars produced by U.S. manufacturers had internal combustion engines. And 6 years later, electric cars went out of production in America. However, that hasn't stopped some companies from testing the market and from bringing the technology back to the mainstream.
The electric SLS is £360,000, and for that you could have an SLS Black and 20,000 gallons of petrol, which is enough to take it from here to the moon.
Number 8. Light-emitting diode, or LED, versus compact fluorescent lamp, or CFL.
When we're talking about comparing CFL and LED light bulbs, we're really only talking about one type, the A series, the regular household shape.
Lighting may seem fairly innocuous, but rest assured that it's an intriguing tale of varying technologies. LEDs, or light-emitting diode lights, have existed since the early 1960s. But only in the 2000s were they adopted in the market, as both vied to replace the old incandescent bulb. Their key competitor, compact fluorescent lamps or CFL lights, previously stood as an up-and-coming technology due to their energy efficiency and cost.
CFL bulbs are kind of the middle of the road. They're much more efficient at turning energy into light. They still will get a little bit hot, but they last a lot longer than incandescent bulbs, and they use a lot less energy to put out the same amount of lighting, or lumens as it's called.
Yet LED lights were found to have major advantages over fluorescent lighting. They don't need warm-up time in order to reach full brightness. They have even increased energy efficiency and a longer life. And the quality of the light itself is better.
Your LED bulbs will be part of your decor for a long time, so you want them to create the right ambiance.
Number 7. Cable versus satellite TV.
You people are nuts! My antenna never interfered with my old TV.
You had cable. This is satellite.
Of all the changes that television has experienced, this is among the most defining. Cable television was adopted in the 1980s as a widespread method of transmitting broadcasts, designed primarily to serve small communities and areas not optimal for receiving TV signals.
I have an upgrade order for one Robin Harris. Total rainbow package. That's every pay channel available.
However, cable has traditionally faced the greater availability, cheaper pricing, and wider range of content offered by satellite television, making the system that uses signals from communication satellites the more popular choice.
The RCA digital satellite system. Television will never be the same.
Nowadays, both are facing a decline in the wake of web-based content.
You know when you're watching your favourite Netflix show, and after 5 straight episodes, it's like, you want to be in it.
Number 6. Compact cassette versus 8-track tapes.
The Panasonic Dynamite 8 that plays 8-track cartridges. It's a blast.
From the mid-1960s to the late 1970s, 8-track tapes stood tall. Created in 1963 for the Learjet Corporation, these tapes found a market amid the rising automobile industry, with companies such as the Ford Motor Company introducing 8-track players in their cars. Though commercially successful, 8-track tapes also had their limits. Among other concerns, the tapes tended to jam as they got dirty, couldn't be rewound, and suffered from sound distortions. Thus, the compact cassette's smaller size, more reliable hardware, and plentiful features allowed it to rise to popularity in the 80s, leaving 8-tracks to fall into disuse.
Even after 500 plays, our high-fidelity tape still delivers high fidelity.
Number 5. Liquid Crystal Display, or LCD, versus Plasma Display Panel, or PDP.
So out of plasma and LCD, which one should you get?
The visualization of televised content has been contested as much as the broadcasting of said content. For a period, the dark black levels and high-quality picture of plasma TVs was second to none in the realm of flat-panel televisions.
In a modern color plasma display, each pixel has 3 of these fluorescent lights, one in each primary color, and fires them intelligently to create the desired color in the picture.
With time, though, televisions reliant on liquid crystal displays began to prevail, thanks to their appealingly slim design, a consistent brightness of image, and greater efficiency of power usage.
Advantages of LCD are that it's relatively inexpensive these days, and unlike traditional CRT tube TVs, they are extremely thin.
Add to that a wider range of screen sizes than plasma, and it's apparent that LCD televisions stood their ground well, though they're currently being replaced by LED technology. Number 4. Universal Serial Bus, or USB, versus Firewire Serial Bus.
Firewire is a connection type that's, it's very common in Apple, and it's made its way also into the PC world.
Apple's 1994 foray into serial communication via an interface named Firewire would soon be rivaled by the 1996 introduction of USB, known in full as Universal Serial Bus.
This is how you transfer information between this flash drive and the computer.
In the decade to follow, USB's simple design and low cost was compared and contrasted with the high-performance nature of Firewire, making for a fascinating, if understated, rivalry.
Keep in mind, Firewire was essentially designed to replace these bulky SCSI cables like these. And USB, on the other hand, was never really designed with the idea of being used for external storage devices.
In the end, however, Firewire could not grab the interest of the market enough to remain a participant, with Apple beginning to replace Firewire in Mac computers as of 2014. Number 3. Blu-ray versus HD DVD.
As far as the image you see on TV, both of these players can actually deliver 5 times what a traditional DVD image can offer.
Bask in the high-definition glory on display. Officially released in 2006 after years of development, the Blu-ray disc format was designed from the get-go to store more data than traditional DVDs. This posed a threat to Toshiba's HD DVDs, which is short for High Definition or Density Digital Versatile or Video Disc. In spite of negotiations with Sony, a format war began. Studios and tech companies alike divided between Sony and Toshiba, though the war began to lean in Sony's favor after Warner Brothers' decision to drop support of HD DVDs.
Well, essentially what you've got is different movie houses and software companies that say, I will produce DVDs or software that is compatible only with the HD DVD, and others that will say, I will only produce ones that are compatible with Blu-rays.
Finally, in February 2008, Toshiba conceded victory to Sony, and the HD DVD was no more.
5 major studios put out new films solely on Blu-ray. Check a store like Blockbuster and you might have a hard time finding a disc for your new HD DVD player.
Number 2. MP3 players versus minidisc. In its day, the Sony-developed minidisc had its fans. This portable disc-based audio device benefited from high quality of sound and durability of hardware, to say nothing of its sleek look.
Sony's minidisc is instant,
but it won't play any of your old stuff. It needs a whole new music collection.
Yet the mini-disc's balance of portability and solid design was outmatched by the smaller, more easily carried, and variable MP3 devices that emerged in the late 90s. Little by little over the years, MP3 players, particularly Apple's iPod, offered more of what the mini-disc could not. Though to its credit, the mini-disc did manage to endure in some form until 2013. Before we unveil our number one pick, here is an honorable mention.
DVD Plus R have positioned themselves as a format superior to the older DVD-R. One major difference is the addressing system, which refers to the way the laser finds the proper position for data to be written.
Number 1. Video Home System, or VHS, versus Betamax.
The differences between the two technologies led to a format war, and only one would be left standing.
A classic format war if ever there was one. In 1975, Betamax cassette tapes hit store shelves in Japan before being sold around the world, promising top-of-the-line recording technology on a high-end format. Within the following years, Betamax would face competition from JVC's VHS tapes, quickly resulting in a back-and-forth fight for market dominance that lasted into the 1980s.
Both machines essentially did the same things: record and play back video after a cassette was inserted.
Unfortunately for Betamax, the fight came down to matters of cost and recording time, both of which were areas in which VHS excelled. And the rest, as they say, is history.
The big football game. Relax! My VHS home video recorder is taping it right now. Terrific.
Do you agree with our list?
You have to see it to believe it.
What's the most notable format war in your eyes?
As you can see, the card survived, physically intact.
For more formative top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I think you're in the wrong place.
See, that's what got you in here in the first place. Attitude.